The night that it happened, I was afraid, full of fear. He told me not to fight him. He told me not to make any noise because he would use the gun.
We're back in Lake Charles, and we accomplished a lot the last time we were here. I feel really, really good about solving Marilyn's case.
That profile matched to an offender in the national database.
Oh my God, shocking. We also really advanced the ball in Melissa's case. Unfortunately, we didn't get a complete resolution in her case, but we certainly made a lot of progress in getting her evidence uploaded into CODIS. I really mean this when I say there's hope.
You're just waiting for this guy to mess up and get added into that database.
I think one of the biggest challenges that we have really in every city and every state is that it's just very difficult to keep up with all of this evidence. The crime labs are very overwhelmed. They just really lack the manpower and the money to get these rape kits tested.
These agencies are really drowning. They're getting in brand new sexual assaults, some of them multiple new assaults every day.
You take a place that has no money and you realize that there's so much work to be done. And those officers are doing a great job every day, but they can only do so much.
That's actually the reason we've come back. We want to help Lake Charles with another case involving a survivor named Beverly. It happened in 1992. She was walking down the street with a friend, coming home from a store. At night, somebody jumped out, attempted to abduct actually both of them, was not successful in abducting the witness, but did grab Beverly, drag her behind a house, and rape her. The offender used a condom.
Yes, the Lake Charles Police Department was able to locate that condom in their evidence room and sent it off to the state lab for testing, so we're waiting for those results.
Well, I hope we can get a hit on that, because in a stranger case with a DNA hit, it's definitely the lead that we need to identify the offender.
Exactly. You know, and I think just because these cases are over 20 years old doesn't mean that these guys aren't still out there perpetrating these kinds of crimes.
Every single rape kit represents a person waiting for answers.
The biggest reason we're doing this is to bring these survivors some justice. We're excited to be back in Lake Charles working with Lieutenant Kirkham and Detective Atkinson. They're great guys, they're hard workers, and they really have a passion for their cases. Lieutenant, why don't you do the rundown on Beverly's case?
Okay, this case we had happened October 20th, 1992. It's about 10:18 p.m. Our victim's name is Beverly.
I believe she was 34 years old?
Correct.
At the time? Okay.
She was with a friend of hers named Darlene, and they were visiting at Darlene's house. They decided to go to a convenience store. Back then, the name of the convenience store was the Pink Elephant. They left there after getting them something to drink, and as they were walking back to Darlene's home, then someone approached them from the back.
It was a nice night. It wasn't cold, it wasn't hot. It was just another night. We got some wine. We were gonna just go back to the house, chill out. And it's like he just appeared out of nowhere. He didn't hit me, but he had a gun, and he had grabbed both of us. And Darlene got out of his grasp, but he had a good hold on me. I remember watching her run down the street, and I didn't know where he was gonna take me. He pulled me behind that house. He told me not to fight him. He told me not to make any noise, so I didn't. And he raped me behind that house. And I just thank God that I walked back out on the street that night. It seemed like whenever I walked from behind that house and I got to the street, I was hoping nobody would know what he did. And then it's like the police just, they appeared out of nowhere. And they called the ambulance, asked me if I wanted to go, and I said yes, I wanted to go. And then I just wanted to go home.
Beverly, I'm Alicia O'Neill. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Alicia.
How you doing?
You guys, good.
Good. Sit down. Thanks to you for persisting and being involved and cooperating with the police and everything. I know they really appreciate it, and they want to get this case closed for you. We do have just a little bit of a question about after the attack was over and you were on foot, weren't you?
Right.
How did you get to the police?
It's 23 years ago, and I can't remember exactly everything, exactly how it happened.
Sure.
And it's like they appeared out of nowhere. I don't know how they got there.
There was a woman named Lisa that was a friend of Darlene's.
In that neighborhood.
And we think maybe you ended up at that house.
Darlene said that's where she made the 911 call from.
It's just...
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
But she got away, and she ran.
Yeah.
She ran.
She ran straight for help.
Darlene called the police.
Okay, all right.
She
wow.
called the police.
Darlene and I never talked about it afterwards.
And what was your life like after this assault?
I was alone and wanting to die. I was on felony probation. I was homeless.
Okay.
I was using. I was drinking a lot.
Okay.
And I was ducking and dodging my PO. She was fierce. And she asked me if I had been prostituting. And I wasn't nonchalant, and I didn't brag. I couldn't even look at her, and I just put my head down and I told her yes. She said, "What do you want me to do?" I said, "I just want you to leave me alone." And she said, "I can't do that. I can't leave you out there."
Victims who are already struggling with things like drug addiction often fall even farther after their attack because they're struggling to cope and really just to survive. Despite the judgments they may face, they need to know that they can come forward and under no circumstances was it their fault or did they deserve what happened to them. What came of that?
12-step program changed my life, and I got relationships back with my parents before they died. And then I got my children back, and then I met my husband. Then we decided we got to get married, and that's, my life has just been one blessing after another since then.
You completely turned your life around.
Oh, I had to do that. I was gonna die. I was gonna die.
You're a survivor. You're not a victim, you're a survivor.
That's what, whenever I walked out on the street, I was like, I can't believe I made it from behind that house. And nobody deserves it. I don't care how I was living. I don't care how I was living. I didn't deserve to be pulled behind that house by a gun.
No, ma'am.
I didn't deserve that. And I didn't deserve the past 23 years to still go over the being raped over and over again in my mind and my memories. And it took me a long time to feel like I had some self-worth again, I had some power again. I don't want to be a victim.
Because of the overwhelming impact that an attack like this can have on a victim, sometimes they really shy away from being able to really communicate what was going on with them. And we want to be the person that can give them a voice and help them heal. Have you told your daughters about reopening the case?
I've gotten a chance to tell two of them. My youngest one, she was just like shocked. And she said, "Are you all right, Mama?" And I said, "I'm gonna be all right." And she goes, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "For you, and for my granddaughter, and for your sisters."
We're just thrilled that you were willing to come down here and meet with us. And
I want to do everything. I want to do everything that would possibly help.
Right.
I can remember staying up days and days, and the sun would come up and dreading the sun come up because I had to live another day.
All All right, so he is an unknown suspect, but we do have a nickname of Little Bit. He's the one that said, tell her it's Little Bit.
When Darlene took off running, the suspect gave Beverly the name, tell her it's Little Bit, Little Bit.
And he even tells her what neighborhood he's from. He's really not trying to hide who he is from
What
them.
neighborhood did he say?
Fisherville?
Fisherville.
All right, let's get his descriptors up here. She said, what on height and weight?
5'8" to 5'10".
Small build, early 20s.
She had mentioned he was brown-skinned.
Brown skin. What about Darlene?
I think she's fairly important because it may have been, hey, tell Darlene it's Little Bit. It's kind of like they might have known each other.
Absolutely.
Darlene actually made the 911 call. She walked to a friend's house, or a friend named Lisa, whoever Lisa is, unknown last name.
And call 911.
And used their phone to call 911.
She also says she stayed with Lisa's dad.
Right. That's what we need to find out, what house that was.
Lisa, question mark?
Right.
Find witness Darlene's going to be important. Finding Darlene is crucial in this case because she was an eyewitness to Beverly's attack, and she was a victim herself. Any photos in her case, crime scene photos?
According to this, there's evidence photos on the offense report.
They may have taken them then, but we don't have them now.
What else?
We did, at the scene, recover a used condom, and that was turned into the lab, and we'll see what happens with that.
So we're talking about sperm, semen from the used condom.
With a found condom, our hope is that we'll be able to identify the suspect's DNA on the inside and our victim's DNA on the outside. That way it clearly confirms vaginal penetration, which could make a difference in the charge in this case.
Memory serves me correct, the pink elephant was right up here on Enterprise.
Yes.
At the time when the incident is occurring, it's fight or flight. Bringing a victim back to the crime scene helps the investigator because that brings back memories.
The Pink Elephant was the convenience store that you and Darlene had walked to? Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Right. Was it pink elephant here or on the next lot over there? I think it was.
I thought it. Oh my goodness.
It's been a minute.
It's been so long.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I think
It was right here.
Yep,
it was right here.
Now, you were on this side of the railroad tracks or the other side of the railroad tracks?
I don't remember.
Back in those days, all of this area was like Dope Central.
Nothing but it was
dope.
infested.
This is North Railroad.
This is North Railroad. He used to have a string of houses right here.
Right.
There's gonna have to be a house over right in here for 1331.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a vacant lot now.
That's vacant now. Okay.
So he brought you around here.
It kind of feels familiar.
So which way would y'all have come back from the Pink Elephant?
Oh, we jumped the tracks.
Thinking you were further down, y'all maybe just walked straight down Franklin and was making a block back up this way, maybe.
It seemed like I said, it was so long ago. It seemed like we were. I don't remember if we were walking what direction. Then we stopped, and there was a bunch of like noise and stuff going on. Then it's like we saw him with the gun, and Darlene said, "Run."
So Darlene would have ultimately run up this street, though, to get help, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I remember her running away.
Right.
Okay.
Revisiting the scene of a traumatic event can really dredge up a lot of emotions and be really hard for a victim. And Beverly's so brave for coming back here to help us with our investigation.
It almost sounded like Darlene may have knew him or seen him before or something. I don't know.
Remember he used a nickname? Do you remember that? That he said, tell Darlene it's Little Bit? Does that ring a bell at all?
No.
It can be really hard to remember events that a victim has spent many years trying not to think about. And it's even harder in Beverly's case, where it's been 23 years and the neighborhood looks so dramatically different.
It's so long.
You got to remember that it looks a lot different without houses.
I know.
That's
I
the
know.
thing, too.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
In order to further our investigation, we're going to talk to Major Powell, who worked Beverly's crime scene.
You know, sit in the hot seat?
Not really.
This is Beverly's case. This is the one that happened back in 1992. We were showing that you as the crime scene unit, found a critical piece of evidence. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Tell us about it.
I was located on the back porch at 1331 North Railroad Avenue, I believe.
And what'd you find?
A condom in a wrapper.
So you basically would have found the used condom at the place where the victim says she was sexually assaulted and the perpetrator used a condom?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How did you go about collecting anything back then? And how
Well, back then, obviously, we would put it in a paper bag because if you put it in plastic, it can deteriorate. And we would send it in they would do blood typing on it and check for sperm and other things. I'm not sure if they were doing DNA back then, but I don't think so.
No.
Not yet.
That was before DNA, yeah.
It was huge that you preserved that. It's going to be very, very important to Beverly, so we thank you for that. Other than processing the crime scene, did you talk to any witnesses, do anything like that?
No, I wouldn't have taken statements. I was just a crime scene officer back then.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here.
All righty. Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Take care. So, good. Good to meet him.
When he picked it up, I mean, most people wouldn't have even known what DNA testing was, and now it's going to be part of solving the case.
Well, he brought up a good point, too. Back then, it was for blood typing.
Right.
You know, that's what they looked at. It was the blood typing, which is what you'll know, that's what we used to use back then.
Yep.
Which really narrowed things down.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 9 million people with that blood type.
Chief, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Don Dixon.
Jess Alvarado, it's a pleasure.
Deputy Chief Sean Caldwell.
Sir, pleasure.
Chief Dixon spent 30 years with the FBI and has been the chief of police with the Lake Charles Police Department for over 13 years. He brings the experience and motivation to clear up these cold cases and track down these violent offenders, like in Beverly's case, and get them off the street.
Just go over, show them what we got and where we are.
Victim Beverly, she was walking with a friend. A guy approaches them both from behind, grabs the first girl. She's able to kind of wiggle out of her jacket and take off running.
How do we come up with a little bit?
He did. The violator, he said, this is a little bit. This is how we do it in Fisherville.
Well, that's what he said. Remind me to call the FBI officer. I had a drug case in the late 90s. I think one of our suspects was known as Little Bit.
Oh, wow.
Need to pull indices on that. Sounds hopeful.
Yep.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Great
Chief.
meeting you both.
Hi, this is Lieutenant Kirkham. Right. All right, thank you. Well, the DNA results came back for a used condom, and we do have a CODIS hit.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So,
right.
Wow,
we're
that's...
We,
You guys work fast.
I was going to say, that's fast information.
we have to confirm, of course, you know how they do.
Oh,
We're
right.
going to confirm, so I have to wait to get back and try to get a name.
When a lab's able to determine that a profile matches a suspect in the CODIS database, they then do confirmatory testing before they release that suspect's name. The amount of time for that confirmation varies from state to state, and we're very hopeful this lab will rush the process.
That's big news.
Well, the good
That's
thing is
great.
you're going to have his DNA on the inside of the condom, but hopefully you'll have her DNA on the outside.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not right. It's not right. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are, how you're living, or whatever you're doing at the time. It's just, it's wrong.
As far as Beverly's case goes, even though we do have the CODIS hit, we want to put Darlene as a priority, finding the witness, Darlene.
Right here, yeah.
We feel like even though we have the CODIS hit, we gotta have Darlene to verify her statement to say that he grabbed Darlene too.
Oh, no question, because the obvious defense every time you have DNA is consent.
Right,
I mean,
consent.
it's going to be a lot harder for them to claim consent with Darlene going, they grabbed me too.
Right.
Yeah. With Beverly and what she said about her previous lifestyle, it's possible that the defense could claim that the suspect was paying a prostitute for sex. It is so imperative that we find witnesses that can corroborate Beverly's account of what happened to her that night.
Darline on Facebook.
Using information from the police report, Lake Charles Police Department is searching for Darlene and using all resources, including Facebook.
I can search her pictures.
Facebook is a handy resource, but it's not always accurate, and it doesn't always give you full contact information.
See, that's snow. That's not here.
Yeah.
Right there. That's 6.
That's Lake Charles.
We think we've found Darlene, and we've reached out.
Well, I sent her a message and explained to her who I was, if she could give me a call in reference to a cold case.
Okay.
Okay.
But we don't know if she'll see our message and respond.
You know, what would we do without Facebook nowadays, you know? I mean...
That's everywhere.
While the Lake Charles Police Department continues to look for their eyewitness, Darlene, we're hoping to locate Lisa, who we think helped Darlene call 911 that night. It's important to find witnesses to help corroborate Beverly's story.
Hey, Eric, it's Alicia. We are looking to find out who lived in a house at 418 North 1st Street in Lake Charles in 1992.
Our team's legal consultant, Eric Devlin, has been researching Lisa's whereabouts.
My understanding is you're looking for somebody by the name of Lisa living in that house. Correct.
That would be great, yeah.
Well, I found somebody close. I did not find a Lisa. I found a Lisa.
Oh.
She was living in that particular location between January of 92 through June of 94.
Could you tell how old she is?
I believe she's 42.
Okay.
We have some information that her father was also living there.
I bet Timothy, 66 years old, who was living in that house around that same time.
Great, good, because Elisa was probably just staying with her dad.
Any chance you know where they are now or where they might be now?
I do.
Great.
All right, it's gonna be the greenhouse right here. Hello.
We're excited to have found Timothy at home, and he confirms that his daughter, Elisa, goes by the name of Lisa. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember anything the night of the incident, and his daughter, Elisa, no longer lives with him.
Take care, sir.
You, sir.
But he is able to give us Lisa's address and phone number.
Are those apartments where she's living at now, or?
They houses. It's under a little subdivision.
We're heading to Lisa's house, and we're hoping that she's going to remember helping Darlene and maybe lead us to her.
Hello. You know who lives here? Is this a Lisa?
They just moved there.
They just moved there? Oh, she's not home right now? Okay.
You want to call her now?
Hello, may I speak to Miss Lisa?
Yeah.
This is Lieutenant Kirk from Lake Charles Police Department. I'm working on a cold case investigation.
Okay.
All right, this was back in 92 where you used to live on 1st Avenue with your dad. You had a friend of yours by the name of Darlene. She and another lady were walking home from the Pink Elephant or whatnot, and somebody jumped out on them and chased them. One of the girls was sexually assaulted, and you let them use your dad's phone to call the police. Do you remember anything like that?
I don't remember none of that.
Okay. Did you ever know a lady named Darlene?
No.
What about a lady named Beverly?
No, I don't know no Darlene. I know Beverly. It had to be somebody else because I don't know nothing about this.
Well, that's the only way we got your name was because in one of the statements from the two ladies, they said they ran to this a friend of theirs' house named Lisa.
It couldn't have been me.
It was a young girl that had been grabbed, and the guy took her jacket, and she ran right out of it, you know? And she just happened to recognize you from the neighborhood, and you were a good Samaritan, and helped her out. All you did was let them use your phone. You remember that?
No, I don't remember none of it, sir. None of it.
Okay.
Hey, Miss Lisa, if you do remember something, give me a call, okay?
Okay, I sure will.
All right, thank you.
I think either she doesn't remember or she may not want to get involved. Obviously, we know that the call came from that address.
It's always frustrating when a potential witness doesn't work out, either because they don't want to get involved with the police or they just don't remember. And in Beverly's case, we were hoping that Lisa was going to lead us to Darlene, who is the only eyewitness in this case. And now the odds of finding her are slim.
You can get past some of it, but I don't know if you ever really, really can get past all of it.
Well, I understand you might have some information.
We're running into some issues in Beverly's case because we're having a hard time locating some of these witnesses who were there that night that could help corroborate her account. But today we have a call with the lab, and we're excited to hear about our DNA results and our CODIS hit.
Yeah, we processed a couple of sexual assault kits for you guys. It contained a thorn nail profile. Profiles from a swab that we took from one side of the condom. It's basically a single source profile, meaning it's coming from one person, and so we give you that information.
Awesome.
All right, go ahead with it.
All right, the individual's name is John L. Ledoux.
Let me confirm that. You said John Nell, Johnell, Ledoux, Ledous?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He is a black male.
All right.
We took swabs on both sides of the condom. One swab matches this individual. The other side contains this individual's profile and what appears to be the victim's profile.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir. Good work.
Well, that's great news.
That is.
Can we run his criminal history?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go high speed, low drag.
That's right. This is great news. Let's update the board. He was born in 73, so that makes him 19 at the time, which would totally, fit the age description. Will be interesting to see what's in his criminal history.
Well, he has a SID number, so he's got a CH somewhere.
Wonder if he's still in the area. Wonder if he's in prison. I know there's lots of unanswered questions that we'll know soon.
Hello, Miss Beth. Would you please do something for me?
Hopefully he's somewhere that we can get to him easily.
If you would call radio, need a full workup on this guy.
And that's really perfect that they were able to do 2 swabs of the condom and get a mixture of the defendant and the victim on one side of it. It's always just really good to have for court.
This is great news. It proves that there is vaginal penetration in Beverly's case, and that'll really help the prosecution.
Okay, we have a criminal history on John L. Ledoux.
What are his descriptors?
He's 5'11", weight about 140.
Okay, yeah, she said he was pretty slender, didn't she?
Got him listed as a felon, some escape charges. I see another name down there, John Chapman. Is that an alias? Let's call probation and parole and see if they can give me any more information.
Criminals often use alias names to hide their identity and their prior criminal histories, but it's important that we have his correct name to proceed with the arrest warrant.
Apparently he's used both names.
Whatever name he uses when he gets arrested is the name that probation or parole will have.
Is he using the same date of birth?
Yes, same date of birth.
So his alias is John Chapman?
Well, they have it as his real name is John Chapman and the alias is Ledoux.
Okay.
On this is saying Ledoux and the alias is Chapman, so we're gonna have to just get an address for Chapman.
We thought we'd put aggravated rape and aggravated robbery since he stole the gold chain. Or do
Up
you
to
want
you.
us to keep it simple?
Keep it simple.
Okay. You got it, no problem. There's some confusion with the defendant's name. The suspect threatened the victim with a gun and grabbed her butt. That's good. But as always, we're trying to be as thorough as possible when dealing with the arrest warrant.
For 3 lawyers, we kept it pretty short.
Who's set up on 12th Street?
With a warrant signed and ready, Lake Charles Police Department is staking out locations where John L. Ledoux could be located. Thank you. We're meeting with Beverly to give her an update on her case.
We've had some results of the DNA testing.
The DNA evidence came back and there was a hit.
And it identified a man who'd been in prison before.
Is he gonna know anything about me?
I mean, he's gonna know your name. You know, he's gonna, well, yeah, that's called the right to confrontation. That's a constitutional right that involves when you're accused of a crime, you're entitled to know who your accusers are, okay? And it's okay. You're gonna be safe. He will know you, and you ultimately will possibly have to testify in court. But that's okay. You can do that.
Yes.
Anytime you see him, you'll be in the courtroom. There's gonna be lots of police officers there to keep you safe and to keep him away from you. He'll be in handcuffs, so you have the power now.
Another resource available to Beverly is the Victims Assistance Coordinator, who can really help her navigate the eventual court process. Use the Victims Assistance Coordinator. Utilize that resource. I can't tell you how underutilized those people are. You're gonna need it. Right, it's okay. It's okay. Use them. You know, they don't do it for the money. They do it because they love that work and they're there for you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't try to do it alone.
There's a lot of good people who want to help you.
Right. You're gonna make it. This is just step one, okay? It's been a long journey, but you're gonna do great. It's really sobering how emotional Beverly is. After over 20 years, she obviously relives this every day. With suspect Jonelle Ledoux still at large, we really need to track down Darlene to get her testimony about what happened that night. You're gonna do great.
I want to.
I know.
I want to.
After sitting at potential locations of Jonelle Ledoux, Lake Charles Police Department think he's on the move. After sitting on potential locations for Jonelle Ledoux, the suspect in Beverly's rape case, the Lake Charles Police Department is in pursuit.
All right, that is the subject. The subject is in custody.
Once Jonelle comes into the station, I want to get him to tell me he was there. It's kind of like a coffin. At this point, he's in the coffin, and you want to be able to put all the nails in that coffin so that he can't get out. I want him to say, I was there. Yeah, I did this.
Mr. Ledoux.
How you doing?
Lieutenant Kirkham with the police department.
All right.
This is Mr. Jesse. He's a consultant with us.
How you doing today? Hey, all right.
Do you know why you're here?
No, sir.
Okay. The reason why you're here is you've been arrested for an aggravated rape that happened back in 1992. And we'd like to talk to you about it, and hopefully we can get some things cleared up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead. I see what's happening. I know nothing about no rape. I have never been in no rape. So I'm gonna have to ask for counsel, because this is I've never been involved in this. Never.
Okay.
I've never even. I probably wasn't even in the state.
So did you ask for an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Bummer. Calling for counsel means Jonelle Ledoux is not going to be helping us build this case, which means it's even more important that we find Darlene, who was a potential eyewitness to Beverly's abduction that night.
Look, man, I was hoping you can help me out on something. I'm looking for in reference to a case I'm working on. Ain't nobody in trouble, but we was trying to find a lady by the name of Darlene.
After finding a few of Darlene's Facebook friends, Lieutenant Kirkham is running down his last leads to track her down.
Go to Fournette Street, see if you got Darlene from Fournette Street. Just throwing a call out to you, see if you know her, if you ever seen her. I don't know if you remember, she might have been a classmate or something. Oh.
The leads don't sound promising, but we have to pursue all angles if we want to help Beverly.
We got a number? Just print it. Is this Miss Darlene?
Yeah.
Outstanding. We have been looking all over for you, Miss Darlene.
Uh-huh.
All of his good old-fashioned police work is paying off because Lieutenant Kirkham is hearing back from Darlene, whose testimony could be really important in putting away Beverly's rapist.
Well, look, we're working on a cold case, sexual assault, way back in 1992. Victim's name was Beverly.
That was so long ago that I still remember.
Okay, cool. What I'd like to do is meet with you so that we can go over your statement. Are you in Lake Charles?
Ohio.
Oh, you live in Ohio. Okay, well, we'll have to come up with some kind of arrangements.
Locating Darlene and hearing that she recalls that night is huge. But we want to hear that firsthand, so we're going to fly her into Lake Charles.
All right, thank you, Miss Sims.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel much better now. "12 years since you've been back."
No, a bit longer than that, but I came back a couple times.
Okay.
This is so great that we were able to get Darlene down here because she's a potential eyewitness. She can corroborate Beverly's account, and she was a victim herself. Hi, Darlene. How are you? My name is Casey Garrett.
How you doing?
Good, good.
Well, first and foremost, thank you very much for coming down and doing this. This means a lot to Miss Beverly. It means a lot to the case. Can you go back over the circumstances of the incident?
Me and Miss Beverly, we was walking down the street coming back from the store. It was a young black guy, came from my left side. He grabbed her and he tried to grab me. But he must have thought he had my arm along with my jacket, but he only actually just had the jacket part. And I got out of my jacket and I took off running, and the guy kept on saying, tell her to come back, tell her to come back. And I was like, I'm not coming back. And I was crying and I was running down the street, and I remember running to this lady's house and I begged her to call 911 for me.
Did you know that lady?
No.
Darlene's memory of the attack is really remarkable, and it really corroborates Beverly's account of what happened that night. But for a chance to get more details, we're just going to drive her around the neighborhood and see if there's anything she missed.
You're gonna go ahead on and go back over the area and see what you can remember on that.
Well, I know it means a lot to Beverly that you are being...
Tell her I'm glad to help.
Yeah, we will. We're driving Darlene through the neighborhood where Beverly was abducted and raped back in 1992. This whole area was decimated by Hurricane Rita back in 2005, so the entire neighborhood has changed. It'll be surprising if Darlene is able to identify any of the locations from that night because all of the relevant houses have been torn down.
The house, my house was the last house on the lot way back there.
This vacant lot.
This vacant lot right here.
And so this is where y'all left from?
That's where we left from. So we had to walk straight all the way down and cross the railroad tracks that way to go to Pink Elephant.
Mm-hmm. All right, talk to me. Which way we...
Okay, under the bridge. I know that's how we walk. And you turn this way, you can't even cross it.
Can't even cross them out. Because this, like, there wasn't no fence here. You could just...
Yeah, you could just cross the track.
Right.
I think it was that street right there.
Darlene, do you remember how far you had to run before you found somebody?
I think I had to run to a house on Opelousas, if I'm not mistaken.
Your memory's good. You said in your statement, I saw a young couple walking on Opelousas, and they helped you find somewhere to call the police.
Wasn't it that where that brown house is? That big brown house?
That's exactly where it would have been at.
It's been so many years and the landscape has really changed. She's going to be a really amazing witness.
It's not a bad memory.
No, not at all.
Not at all, you know.
If y'all need me to come back and testify, I'll be more than happy to do that and help her out.
Well, I know that means a lot to her.
Definitely.
Yeah. Darlene's testimony, coupled with Beverly's, is going to make for a great case against Johnelle Ledoux, and we can't wait to give Beverly the good news. I know Lieutenant Kirkham has some really important news to deliver to you.
We made the arrest of the subject for your sexual assault.
No, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
23 years.
I know.
And they already found him and put him in jail.
Yeah, they sent the SWAT team out right away. As soon as they got the warrant signed, the SWAT team was ready to roll. So he's in custody, Beverly.
His bond has been set at $850,000. But we're still working on it. All right.
We're going to check every single box that we can so that these guys can put the package together for your prosecutor so that when they go to court, they'll have everything ready.
And the most important part was they held on to that evidence, and that's a testament to these guys, their hard work and their diligence. They held on to it, they sent it for testing.
Thank you so much.
Well,
you know,
I'm glad it's the start of closure.
Right.
It's the start.
Absolutely, it is the start. How do you feel?
I feel, I don't feel so powerless anymore.
Okay. Right. Good. Right.
I feel like empowered now, you know? Like,
absolutely. Everybody involved in this is very committed to the good that it will do for other Beverlys that feel powerless.
And I always, I thought about, I have daughters and I have granddaughters. And I just, I would think back sometimes that they would never, ever have to live through that kind of horror.
Absolutely. By participating, you're doing your part to protect other people.
Not being a victim anymore, just coming out victorious,
Absolutely.
It shows how strong you are, and it's going to keep this man from doing it to somebody else.
Yes, yes.
That's what's so important.
That's what's so important.
Story comes out, hopefully other women will stand up.
Right, right.
I'll get those phone calls and we'll go back to work.
Okay.
All right? All right.
I can't thank you enough.
You just did. To be able to arrest somebody after 20 plus years, to give her that news, you know, I'm sitting there fighting back tears.
You changed my life. You changed my life. All these years that I was a victim. I was a victim, and that's not a way to live. It's like being locked up, you know? And I'm experiencing some freedom today. I'm definitely a survivor. Thank you.
This is why we do it.
Beverly has such a strong will and a loving support system.
Oh, I got to hug you.
And I know she's going to continue to fight and to succeed, and hopefully inspire others to do the same. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you don't have to go it alone. Assistance is available 24/7 by calling the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAINN.org.
Don't miss new episodes.